achieving the highest level of strength that I have ever experienced on a bike. That is what I am currently trying to do, and that is what this YouTube channel is currently documenting as well. This video is an update 2 months in to the biggest prep of my life. So today I have a 3-hour ride on the schedule that will include 3 by 8 minute blocks with increasing intensity, going from tempo to threshold to VO2 max with relatively short breaks in between. And in keeping with the month 1 update that I did a few weeks ago, which I will try and link here above, I'll take you along for the training session and I will talk to you about how I've gotten on since then. So on the fitness and training front, I don't have a great deal of earth-shattering news to report other than the training volume having increased slightly and the intensity having equally increased slightly. And the logical consequence of that is that my fitness has also gradually continued to increase, kind of exactly within the realms of the expected, and something that I am quite happy about. I had, in the middle of the month, I had 3 days off the bike because of a stomach upset, and that's kind of the only thing that was really out of the ordinary. But what that did do is it reminded me yet again of the massive importance of recovery. I didn't touch the bike for 3 days, I got back on, and in the second part of the month, things started kind of getting better. They were already quite good, they were already all right. But the second part of the month is kind of, almost kind of giving me that little extra jump that I was maybe more so mentally than physically looking for. And so I saw proof of that during a very recent ride I did with an acquaintance of mine, which was a kind of a mountain bike off-road event here. This is an ex-cyclist. He was a cyclist in his younger years, and so he's stronger than me, very good on the bike and whatnot. And so we're out riding, and on the off-road sections it was full gas. For me, technically, I'm not very good. It was very muddy, so I hit the deck a couple of times. I had to kind of get my feeling on the bike. So the first part of the ride wasn't great. I didn't feel super comfortable, not really because of the power, but more so because of the technical aspect of that on that day. And so then in the second part of the ride, I started kind of coming into my own. I started feeling comfortable on the bike, and then I started being able to kind of put power numbers down that were not extraordinary, nothing to really write home about, but I was putting them down with a much better feeling than I had been doing up until now. I'd always been, like, during the first month and, you know, the first part of the second month, I'd been able to hit the numbers, it was fine, but I never really had that feeling. And then that second part of that ride, it started kind of clicking, especially towards the end of that ride. I was able to keep pushing on, keep putting numbers down with a lot of composure. And that kind of, for me, mentally was a sign of, okay, we're on the up and up. Things are starting to come together. Tick that box, let's power on. It's kind of, you know, my inclination to just keep on training, keep piling on the stress, keep chasing those TSS numbers, but they all mean nothing if you don't let the body recover. At least for me, you know, it's super important, and I learn it time and time again, but somehow each season I somehow tend to forget. Then on the planning front, things have just been about tweaking and adding. I had already laid the basic foundations to the plan in the first month of my prep, and so this month I actually started filling in the blanks in between the B and C races. That means that the training blocks and phases have been filled in. The required base blocks, build blocks, and specificity blocks are there. and I feel pretty comfortable and good about it, so I'm super excited to see what that plan is going to do for me. Something that really treated me well last year was a solid amount of climbing throughout the year, so I have tried to replicate that in this year's plan. Plenty of that, and plenty of videos in other parts of the world coming as I prepare for my A race next year. So another thing that I'm trying to do this year is pay a little bit more attention to my nutrition on the bike. I keep hearing these numbers being thrown around, 120 grams of carbs an hour. Makes me wonder, blimey, that is quite a tall order, but I'm going to try and push my consumption. Last year I've just kind of tried hovering around 50-60 grams an hour, and I haven't really felt that to be much of an issue. I haven't bonked or anything like that, and well, moderately happy with my performance. But this year I'm trying to take in more. I'm trying to push that from 70, 80. I'm trying to teach my gut to absorb that, and maybe it'll help me. You tell me, I don't know. Alright, we're approaching the canal side road. It's an uninterrupted road that is perfectly suited for intervals, which is exactly what I will be attacking very momentarily. No mountains here in this part of Belgium. Well, no mountains anywhere in Belgium, but no hills long enough for an 8-minute walk. But we do have something called the Belgian/Dutch mountain, which is a wind and lots of it. No traffic, except for other cyclists, straight roads. Perfect conditions for intervals, for keeping our head down and putting the power down. Soul chaser. Alright, gearing up for number 2. Let's have it. Number 2 done. Whew. Spicy. Alright, 5 minutes easy, and then the last one. We got it done. It wasn't perfect. I had a slight hiccup with my chain. It dropped from the big ring to the small ring in the middle of the interval, so try to get it back on, but it's not quite working, so something wrong there. I'm gonna have to check that out. So last little 5 minutes of recovery now, and then we'll swing around, surf the tailwind, home. I'll talk to you a little bit about what's coming up in month 3. Alright, now we made it back home. That ended up being 2 hours and 20 minutes instead of 3 hours. I was losing daylight, and I was also losing energy, to be quite frank. First hour went okay. The intervals, they were alright with the slight technical hiccup. I got it done, the numbers were there. But then the last bit, I started losing energy and started losing the good feelings, and I called it quits. So not a great feeling about that, but you know, we'll just draw a line under that. We still got 2 hours and 20 minutes in the bank, and that will have to do for today's session. All right, so now that we have talked about what happens in month 2, let's look ahead at what month 3 has in store. In month 3, it'll be more of the same, more volume and more intensity as I start getting ready for the first race of the season, which is a C race, yes, but still I want to build towards that first fitness target. I will be breaking out the road bike for that because this C race is a road race, so I do want to get a little bit of comfort back on the road bike, so expect that coming up. And then coming up very shortly, wrapping up this training block that I'm currently in, the family and I will be traveling to the Belgian Ardennes, which is home to Liège-Bastogne-Liège.
because each year we celebrate New Year's Eve in a nice little hotel over there. Unfortunately for me, that is a beautiful location to train, and it is a beautiful location apparently to go gravel riding. So I will be exploring those roads and trying to get some good training volume in before I go into a recovery week, first week of Jan, and then one last 3-week block ahead of the epic Gran Canaria, a 2-day stage race on one of the Spanish Canary Islands. Really looking forward to that, and of course I will be bringing you along. So then, all that is left for me to do is to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then perhaps consider hitting the like button. It would be massively appreciated. If you would like to be kept informed of future pieces of content that I will be releasing, then please subscribe to the channel. Thank you again for watching. Enjoy what you're doing. Be safe, be healthy, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.